Hello children, welcome to our class of social science, and today we are going to start with a new chapter of civics. New in the sense, the very first chapter of civics, which is the Indian Constitution. This is what our Constitution, the book, looks like. This is the preamble. You must have seen in your textbooks also. The NCERT textbooks often have this. This is called as preamble. And what does this say? It says, and what is a preamble? Preamble is an introductory note of your Constitution. It tells you what are the guiding lines, what are the guidelines, what are the principles, the basic foundation pillars on which our Constitution stands. What is our vision? That it makes clear. So let us understand the preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, and which is that? Social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Then equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity. So the basic guidelines are justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. Now this liberty, equality, fraternity, these things we have taken from the French Revolution, the French Constitution. Then we are a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. I repeat, we are a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. And this was adopted on the 26th day of November 1949. Importance of law and order in a country. Why a constitution is required? Can you think of a country, forget the country, of your own house, of your own school, that there are no laws? What will happen? If there are no laws, no prescribed norms according to which you have to wake up at a particular time or sleep at what time or have food or lunch, dinner or whatever clothes you are going to put on. So if these restrictions or laws or rules are not there, there will be chaos. So similarly, laws are very important, be it a country, be it a school, or be it your home or any organization. To go on, for the things to go on smoothly, it is essential that we have laws. Rule of law. Now children, try to understand this rule of law, because this concept rule of law will be used by the textbooks till your 10th class. Rule of law, rule of law, rule of law everywhere. So you should know, you must be knowing this for the first time. So rule of law means that everybody, including the government, has to obey the law. Yesterday we saw on television that an ex-chief minister's son wedding was held in a particular state of India, and there was a lot of members participating, though we are just aloof. I mean, we are supposed to maintain social distancing, but over there were. And secondly, on the other hand, the news channels were showing another marriage of a middle class or maybe even rich family, but just the limited people were there, 4 to 5 with social distancing. Now, that means law is equal for all, and that is why it was a talk of the debates in all the channels yesterday, that what is happening about the rule of law. Naturally, that chief minister, he will not be spared, he will be punished, But then that is what is highlighted here, that law is law. When we say social distancing, it is applicable for all, be it a minister, be it a president, prime minister, you, I, anybody. So rule of law means law is applicable to all, even the government has to obey the law. Now, rule of law implies, what does it say in breadth? All are equal in the eyes of law. Nobody is above law. Punishment remains the same for all. Rule of law ensures all citizens enjoy equal rights and discharge equal responsibilities. No misuse of power at any level by anyone. All are guided by law. If you remember, last year or before last year, a film actor was, there was a hearing and a long hearing going on for his accident and for his, he was hunting in an illegal way. You must be knowing the name of that person. You know better than me. So that means, though he was a very famous celebrity, but still he was charged by law. That means all are equal in the eyes of law. So whosoever does a crime is a crime, and punishment remains the equal. So we all have to abide by the laws of the country. That is called as rule of law. Now, need for laws. A question arises that why do we need laws? Where is the importance? Let us stay without laws. Will it do? I don't think so. Why? Because for smooth administration of the country, for maintaining law and order in the country, for all-round development of all, for peace and harmony in the society, for safety and security of all, I repeat, for smooth administration of the country, for maintaining law and order in the country, for all-round development of all, for peace and harmony in the society, for safety and security of all. So you also may agree that these are the reasons why we need laws. Next, legitimacy of law. Legitimacy of law means authorization. Suppose a news comes to a class that tomorrow is a holiday, or tomorrow Sunday schedule will be followed, or say tomorrow we are going outside for a picnic outing. Very first question comes to your mind, who said? Who said? Who told you? So, if it is an authorized source, the person will say, yes, I heard principal saying, or I heard the coordinator, or I heard the dean saying, or I heard such and such teacher saying. But if you don't know about it, you say, I overheard somebody saying. That means that person was just overheard, is not a legal person or an authorized person to give this news. So when we say legitimacy of law, it means it is legal. It is there in the constitution. Lawmaking is a lengthy process. A bill is debated in the parliament. It is discussed in both houses of the parliament. Then it goes to the president for his assent, that is his signature, and then it becomes a law and gets enlisted in the constitution. That means it becomes legitimate, it becomes authorized. Three organs of the government, just now that I told you. The legislature makes laws. Executive, they see to it that the laws are implemented, obeyed, followed in the society. Judiciary, what is the role of the judiciary? It gives justice. It punishes all those who do not obey the laws. So these are the three organs of the government, and each one has a different function, a role to perform. So lawmaking is the authority of the legislature. Once they make law, the executive has to see that the laws are followed. Then comes the judiciary. Okay. Suppose nobody is obeying the law, then the police catches hold of the person and puts him behind the court of law. There the hearing is done, and after the hearing, the punishment is given by the so-called judge. Three organs, again by means of this I am trying to explain you. Legislature makes the law, executive implements, and judiciary makes sure that the laws are obeyed. Now, law and dissent. You must be seeing in this picture that there is a huge mob, a huge crowd over here with a flag and posters and banners in their hand. So some idea about what is law and descent. Again, another one says that photography prohibited means not allowed by federal law. And the other is saying, well, I disagree. So dissent means refusal to accept law. I repeat, dissent means refusal to accept law. For example, in COVID-19, we are supposed to maintain social distance as a law. That is the instruction given by the Prime Minister, by the authorities, by the medical team. Why? So that we don't catch hold of the disease. But there are some who are following, some who are not following. So that is dissent. But refusal to accept law. So those who are not accepting are being punished. But that does not happen in all cases. How? That we will see. Now, here again, law and dissent, the explanation with the help of example. Salt March by Gandhiji. Now, from here, from civics, we are going to history little bit, whereby the Salt March initiated by Gandhiji, over there he told the people not to buy the salt made by the British factories and to manufacture own salt and make own salt. That is civil disobedience. Don't listen to them because they are not listening to them. So in a very non-violent manner, we are also not going to listen to them. We will not pay any taxes. We will not do what they say, but we will do what we feel as good. So that again comes under law and dissent. This is a picture of the Dandi March. Now next is anti-Arak movement. A movement in Andhra Pradesh. You can see some liquor bottles over here and the woman trying to break it. What is Arak? Arak is a rectified spirit which is obtained by distilling, fermenting molasses. This is a scientific process. Forget that. But what you need to remember is this bottle, that is alcohol. So production of Arak became increasingly high, and this gave way to large-scale sale of Arak. Means large-scale use of this, and it was cheap as compared to your English liquor. As a result of which, the poorer section of society brought more and more of this and consumed it. And when they brought more and more and consumed it, that means they did not go for work, they did not work properly or spend all that they earned in buying liquor and having a merry time. So the women got agitated, they got frustrated, they got annoyed. Why? Because all the men folk were busy where they could be seen located in the Arak shops only. So they thought something has to be done for this to put an end. Why? Because it is ultimately affecting their health also. What did the women in Andhra Pradesh do? They organized the anti-liquor movement, okay, and they spoke to other women, to the district collector, to the district sarpanch, and what they did is that they went and broke open these Arak shops and forced the government to put an end or take away the license or ban these Arak shops. That is refusal to accept law. Means these people who are selling Arak, they had got license, but then it was a misuse also somewhere. Now, this is again a bit description of what Arak is, and this did not take place only in Andhra Pradesh. Later on it went to spread to Haryana also. So in different parts of the country, wherever women, got annoyed of this, they went against this. Now your assignment will be that you will have to write a short paragraph on importance of law. I repeat, a a short paragraph on importance of law, and write an essay on law and dissent. You can use the current examples, you can use your own mind, your thinking, but write it on an A4 size paper or in your notebooks, and you have to bring it when you come back. So this lesson being very short, has no split, no more modules. With this we come and end to this lesson, that is Indian Constitution. Thank you. Have a nice day.